Welcome to the MTR Network. We are back for another Supergirl Super Tuesday. This is Shanna. I am joined by the Doctor. And we are here to discuss Supergirl Season 3, Episode 5. And this one is called Damage, obviously for a lot of reasons. So you ready to get started with this one? How did you enjoy this episode?
I liked it. Can you hear me okay? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, I really liked it. I really liked that we got to see Kara be an investigative journalist, like really do something as opposed to the first couple of seasons where they kind of played I'm a journalist. I'm an investigative journalist. No, you're not. We're here. She got to do it. I love whenever these comic book shows throw shade at our current administrations and they threw that Flint line in there. I'm like, talk about it. I love that for the first time in a long time on network television, we saw a mature breakup of an LGBT relationship instead of something hackneyed or contrived or murderous or ridiculously violent death. It was a mature parting of ways. It was really good. And I love that we have General Talbot being truly evil. Like sinister. I mean, they tried to portray Max Lord as evil, but I'm like, nah, he's just annoying. This dude is evil. And
Yeah, I feel the same. I really, really, really enjoyed this episode. I think it's so interesting because I really feel like some people have left this show or, some people are like, "Oh, Supergirl, you're still watching that?" And I'm like, "Oh, this show has made such a turnaround.
You gotta get on it."
And it's so interesting. I mean, even the thing, like you said, like for a LGBT relationship, it was a really mature breakup. I think for any type of television show relationship, that was a really not just a good breakup in terms of you saw the development and progression of it, but you have two people like coming to a really, really mature decision, and we'll get into the specifics of it, but I really enjoyed how they handled that relationship all the way up through to the end. And we've been talking about it every single week because we knew it was coming. But 5 episodes of really establishing, and obviously they pulled from stuff last season as well that were kind of issues between the two of them. But 5 episodes that they really built that breakup through. And made it like thorough, and you understand why. And I don't think it's really about who's to blame. It's really about these two people realizing that this is not going to work for them, and it's really sad to watch, but also really beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
So let's start with kind of all the superhero stuff, and then we'll get into the really emotional stuff. I can't believe this dude. This dude basically just poisoned a bunch of children to make a point.
Right, to blame it on Lena.
Mm-hmm.
I'll destroy her.
Yeah. Like, that level of...
Evil,
petty. Yeah. And his motivation is he wants to win. That's his whole motivation. I like it in the sense that I think often we try to give villains this like deep backstory and this, this is why he's like this, and his father was this, like Stranger Things, like everybody's like, you have this character Billy who's just horrible. And then they like throw in a scene where like his father is really mean to him, and everybody's like, "Oh, see, that's why."
Well, and what's funny? You mentioned that Baby Boy and I just finished Stranger Things, and we watched that episode. And he's like, "Mom, so is it nature or nurture?" And I was like, "That is a good question." Because I know people who grew up in environments like that character and turned out to be shits. I know people who grew in up environments like that committed not to being shit. So and his whole thing was like, well, that's still nurture. I mean, even if it's not a positive nurturing, it's something to learn from. I was like, that is a good point. But you can't look at that and say that. I think Morgan, even if he had like Mary Poppins or, the folks from The Sound of Music, although he was a Nazi, that don't count. But if he had like these Pollyanna parents, he was always going to be a dick because he's choosing to be a dick, an evil dick.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. I kind of like it because I do believe that some people are just horrible. And it's not about what they've been through or what they experienced. Like some people, they just want to watch the world burn. And sometimes you need a villain like that. I really like how they used him as a foil for Lena, because she has been a character that we've talked about in terms of her really, we don't know her end game. We know that she has been playing this game of chess with everyone. And so as they continue to kind of humanize her and make her like really enmesh her with this group, it's going to be interesting. Like, I don't know where they're taking this character anymore. It's like, is there going to be a heel turn? What will that look like when it does happen? Because at this point, she's so thoroughly integrated into this group. I just don't know what that will look like anymore. I think we had a kind of an idea that she was just playing them all behind the scenes. But now I'm like, I just don't know where this is going. I thought Katie did some amazing acting. Just like when that woman tried to shoot Lena at the press conference, she really felt she deserved to die.
And you know what? I like the twist of that because everyone expected it to be that angry father that confronted her
Mm-hmm.
at Catco. I don't know if they changed the name, so I'm just going to say Catco. But the fact that they twisted it and it was a mother, I liked. I don't know why, because I just like that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that whole scene. I was just really surprised by they've always portrayed Lena as somebody who is constantly trying to make up for her family's mistakes. But the depths of the self-loathing to where she was just like, yeah, I deserve that. I deserve this person shooting at me, trying to take my life. Because if I'm responsible for these kids being sick, then I do deserve to die. Like that's big. That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I the show is just going some places with and allowing these actors to really run with these scenes, and I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, if I just love to when Kara called her to tell her about the chemicals, and she said the company, and Lena just was shocked because she was just like, what's the name of that company again? And they're like, oh, do you know anything about it? She's just like, no, but you could see in the way Katie acted it in her face, like you knew it was on. Like, and the way she showed up at Edge's office, she was like, yeah. She's like, I thought that I deserved to die, and so now I know that you deserve to die. I mean, everybody's just acting their behinds off. So good. Yeah, so and then uh, the other part with the plane, I just don't, I don't know what his plan was for that. So
Like,
like,
how a company you formally own that she has no stake in has chemicals on it, and her on it crashed at the bottom of the sea.
Yeah, I'm like, so not only did like Lena poison all these kids, but now she's like so deranged that she stole one of your planes and killed herself and poisoned the entire water supply. That was a
Yep.
bit much. That was when he just went full evil genius. Like, he just went full Dr. Evil on us. That was a little crazy. I didn't know how that was supposed to work. It was, I, I don't know. I don't know if we're supposed to think that he was so smart that he knew Supergirl would save her, and all he would have to do was cover it up. I don't know. Like that was when the plan went a little awry for me. But the rest of it was really just really deranged madman, in a good way. And let's talk about that final scene between him and Supergirl.
Listen, he came with it, didn't he? He was like, now see, for example, if you were my enemy, but y'all capes ain't got what it takes to do what I'm willing to do. And he basically said, that's why he pulled a Yoda, that is why you fail. Mm-hmm. You are not willing to take it where I'm willing to take it, and I'm willing to take it pretty damn far. Yeah. If you haven't figured it out yet, I'm willing to take it pretty damn far.
Yeah, that was such an interesting little speech, because he is, again, just this unapologetic villain, and he's basically like, you got to come correct. You got to come correct if you want to fight me. And by come correct, I mean, are you willing to just straight up kill me? And I think we're basically going to get should a hero kill a bad guy that they know is that level of evil. But it doesn't feel like they're doing it in that Arrow, Batman, who am I if I become the killer that, it doesn't feel that depressing man brooding way. I feel like that's what they're getting at, but it doesn't feel the same, the way they're handling it.
Yeah.
And especially because he's someone who doesn't have superpowers. I think that, too, is important to remember, because I think often we have these discussions about, like, do you take out this person? What does it mean? Do you become as evil as the other person when you kill them? But he's human. I think, Supergirl could snap his neck. Lena could have shot him, and that would have been the end of it.
And he knows it, because his whole thing was like, well, the worst you did was cause me some money and dry cleaning and a really long Uber ride home. Mm-hmm. That's basically the worst you were willing to do.
So are you really about that life, or are you about that life?
And she's not yet. Mm-hmm. But I feel our girl, I feel she gonna pull a Spock if he pushes her to it. The needs of the many outweighs the needs of the few. And if I gotta take your life, so be it.
Mm-hmm. And then it harkens back to, is Kara becoming the alien part of herself? Is she embracing that alien part of herself versus that human part of herself? I think has been one of the central struggles of this season. And so I think they're going to go more in that direction, not in the, are you becoming evil if you do this? But like, okay, recognizing that I have this power, and this person, though human, is evil and capable of great destruction.
Well, and, oh God, I just lost my train of thought. Ask your first question again. It'll trigger. Yeah.
I was saying, that they've been having this whole, is Kara more alien or more human?
That helped. And Christopher had just noticed it. I'd already noticed it. the intro card where she talks about, I am Kara Zor-El, I am a refugee of Krypton.
Mm.
After 2 seasons of saying, I work with my adopted sister for the DEO, I came here, but she's never referred to herself as a refugee. It's the othering. Like you said, it's the embracing of the fact that she is not of Earth. She is not human. And even though for 13 years she knew this, like the first 13 years of her life, obviously, the next 13 she was spent trying to blend in, trying to pretend like she was just a human with natural abilities, and now she recognizes she can't run that game anymore.
Yep. So deep, this show, just giving us layers out of nowhere. I guess before we get into the Maggie Alex stuff, we have to talk about briefly Jimmy and and Lena. Why in my mind was I calling her Morgana just now?
Oh, someone in the group, Sterling from Game and then some. He was like, oh, it was funny because Nina from Project Fandom, she's sneak watching. We see you, Nina. You've been talking trash. Because she was like, oh, it's Jimmy and Morgana getting it on. And then Sterling was like, no, it's Jimmy and Lena. So I was like, Lena played Morgana. It was so cute. I loved it. I was like, oh, baby, we got to get you watching Merlin.
Yeah, I just had like a brain fart where I was like, what is her name? What is her name? Yeah, so they had a little scene where during the shooting, Jimmy saves Lena. And
bullet to the shoulder.
Yeah, ends up taking a
bullet. And it gave us
our
shirtless scene. Yeah.
Look, I was here for it. I was here for that. And although it didn't go anywhere, he was shirtless in a scene with Kara. Anyway.
Girl, stop. You gotta let that go. That dream died 2 seasons ago.
I would like to point out, though, anyway, I'm not talking about it. But I would like to point out that I did say, what did I say during the preview show? That I think Jimmy's love interest for this season was going to be whoever ended up buying Catco, and Lena bought Catco.
Yes.
I was right.
To run it.
All that tension from a couple episodes ago, and she came in trying to run stuff, has now turned into sexual tension.
Well, and mutual respect. Like, she talked to him about the ads. She listened to what he had to say, but then she pointed out, like, dude, we got to pay for it somehow. And she didn't just blow him off. I loved how they had that whole conversation. It was like, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you, but we have to pay for this somehow. So let's meet in the middle. And it was just so, oh, yes. And Jimmy finally at work doing work for a change.
Well, it was funny because in that opening scene when she's fighting whoever on that, I was like, is Supergirl stopping a prison break? I was just very confused. I was kind of like, okay, Supergirl stopping a prison break. And when the back of the bus blew out and someone came in, I thought it was thought it was going to be Guardian. Because I was like, oh, that would be cool. Like, they're teaming up. And I'm also like, don't the DEO deal with aliens? Why are they handling a simple prison break?
I thought it was going to be Guardian, but then I remembered she's still mad that he's doing the Guardian thing. So then I immediately wiped that. But can we talk about the one brother that was sitting like, I don't want none of these problems, when she's like, anyone else? He was like, you see, I didn't get up the first time. This was them. Right here and take my years. I don't need no more years than the years I got already.
Okay, do you think Kara's seriously still mad about the Guardian thing? Because I feel like we have moved past that.
I don't think she's mad. She got over being mad, but she said, you know what? I can't be mad at you. You've got to do what you got to do. I still don't support it, but you grown. That was where they left it last season.
Yeah, but I feel like just in the span of all the things that have happened, I hope we let that die. I hope we don't have to revisit that.
Oh, I'm okay never revisiting it, but I'm also okay if they never showed the two of them together, because she had already established that this wasn't something she supported.
Oh, okay. See, for me, I'm like, I hope that they just show us them working together and then we know that she's over it. That's what I'm hoping for. That's how we know that they've moved past it. Um, so yeah, Jimmy and Lena, that's probably gonna happen. I Although Jimmy and Cara are not happening, I take solace in the fact that I called it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I got for that. All right. So Maggie and Alex. This was roof. This was roof. Um, Last week we had Alex crying in bed. You know, when Maggie touched her, which was already intense. And this week we come back and they've already been having these discussions. And they are at the point where this is it. You know, shit or get off the pot, basically. Um, yeah.
She played my favorite one of my. Okay, let me be honest. I have so many favorite Cyndi Lauper songs. Okay, that part was hilarious when they had that somber ass music that you think is just in the background, and then she turns it off on the phone. I'm like, oh my god, I love that they did that because it flies in the face of on a lot of these CW shows. You see all these montages with this sad ass music.
Mm-hmm.
And it winds up being like a mini like MTV music video. And the fact that they play all through the night, I love that song. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. I I like that you have the first scene where Maggie says to Alex, you have to say it. You have to officially break up with me if you want this to be over." And that scene is just intense and heartbreaking. So I kind of thought that that was going to be it. I didn't think we were going to get the next scene where she comes back to pack up all her stuff, and the two of them just end up falling back in bed together, which is very realistic. I think that happens a lot with breakups. Usually not right after you decide to break up. Usually it might happen a couple of weeks later. But they end up in bed together. And that scene was just very beautiful. You feel Maggie not wanting things to end badly. Maggie not wanting things to end with the two of them just silently walking out on each other. So I really like that. And then this scene afterwards where they're like laying in bed together and Maggie's just like, "You really want to give us up for this idea of having a kid?"
I was like, oh, Maggie, don't be so dismissive, sweetie. That was harsh.
But it was so realistic. It was so realistic.
But you can't, I mean, children, a being that I know is right now just a dream in your head, but the desire for that, you can't shit on that like that.
But
I mean, it's like shitting on my dream of marrying The Rock, okay? That's a little bit different because I know that's something that will never happen. So shitting on that saying you want to give me up so in case The Rock shows up, that's one thing. Children are something Alex could have. Like today, she could get pregnant if she wanted to. So I was like, oh, Maggie, fuck.
but it makes so much sense because it's not like they're discussing a baby that is there or a baby that is on the way. She's like, "You're giving up what we have right now in this moment, which is real and tangible. You can touch it, you can feel it, for this idea of being something, you know, that again to Maggie is not make it or break it. Like if being a mother is not the end all be all for her. So she's just like, it's just kind of something you could be or that you could have, and you're giving it up for something you have right now. And obviously that they both feel strongly about each other too. So she's like, you're giving up this feeling that we have that is so strong and so real and is happening right now for this idea of some like future possible being that may not even be. I understand why she said it. I'm not saying it, obviously it was insensitive, and I think Alex's response to that finally is what clicked for Maggie, because Maggie was thinking about it in this like so abstract way. And Alex is like, to her, that's the feeling that they have right now that's so real and so powerful is the same exact feeling that she has when she thinks about being a mother. It is also that strong and that powerful for her. That is some writing.
Yeah.
That is some writing there. Like, kudos to the Supergirl team, because that, I have seen many a CW breakup. Many a CW breakup. I have spent years of my life, years that I cannot get back, watching the Vampire Diaries. Watching, like everything on CW, the Carrie Diaries, all of the diaries.
Real quick side note, I completely forgot that this was Kevin Smith's episode.
What?
Yes, this was the episode he directed.
Are you effing kidding me? Okay.
I just glanced at my Instagram.
Now, no.
Posted an image or like a real quick, what I was boomerang it? No, it's a quick video saying the episode of Supergirl that I got credit for directing is on tonight.
Okay, now we got, like, I'm sorry, we got to start over. We got to start the whole entire podcast over from the lens of Kevin Smith directed this. What?
Yeah, this is his.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I am a Kevin Smith fan from way back. And I am going to legitimately say that this is the best thing he's ever directed.
And you see how he titled it. He's so self-deprecating. He said the one I got credit for directing. Dude, you directed the shit. Okay.
And directed the hell out of it. Okay, this is a man. Look at me now, I'm all like just astonished. This is a man who is known for literally just sitting two characters down at a table and having them talk.
Right.
Just talk at each other for 10 minutes. Just cutting back and forth. This episode was so deep. Like, and not just on the heavy emotional side, but also on the the superhero-y action-packed stuff was so deep and rich and hit all these different layers, like you said, mentioning Flint and all these other things. And it was action-packed and good, and there were fight scenes and there was investigation, and how is this not? And this is not because I don't think that Kevin's a great director. I think he is a great director. I think he's a great director because often he does let the actors go. He plays to the actors' strengths. But I just I feel so surprised. I feel like if you had told me just anybody else directed it, I would have been like, oh, kudos to the director for doing a really good job with this episode. But this is a Kevin Smith directed episode. I feel like he's so good often at the goofy and the silly. And I think there were moments in this episode that were light, but for the most part, this was a heavy episode.
Yeah, it was.
Like, even the light moments, Maggie and Alex dancing, had this kind of sad undertone to them because you knew that what was coming.
Right.
Yeah.
They were packing up the place. They were packing up the stuff.
Yeah, like when they started making out, I was like, but half your stuff's packed up. Like, this is not going to end well. Like, this is not going where you think this is going. Oh my God, Kevin. Kevin. I don't want to insult him, but I want to get on Twitter and be like, I think this is the best thing you've ever directed. Like, I don't want him to feel like the rest of it, because he's already so self-deprecating. I don't want him to feel like I'm invalidating the rest of his work. But this is seriously the best thing I think I've ever seen him direct. Oh, oh my God. Okay. I didn't
Backing
do
and backing up to that, now that you think about it, he could have had Morgan Edge be so cartoony evil or over the top evil. But I think it's a combination of how they're writing Morgan, how he's being directed, and just Adrian Pasdar being that damn good. He was sinister. I was scared.
Mm-hmm. He's a true psychopath. He has no, what's the word? Empathy, sympathy. He has no regard for life. He does not care. That dude was all like, he's like, why'd you have me shoot the console? He's like, oh, I just need some gun residue on your hand when I shoot you. Said it casually, right before shooting him in the head.
Yeah.
I just, uh, yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. I feel very blown away right now.
Come back to me. Come back to me.
I just don't know. Okay. Yeah. So Maggie and Alex break up, and it is mature. They don't say anything about Maggie leaving town, so it'll be interesting if, because we won't see her because the actress is leaving, but they have left it open for her to come back. But it'll be interesting. It's like, does Alex just start working with another local cop that's not Maggie?
Or does that relationship with the local PD shift
Shift,
some kind of
yeah,
way?
or yeah, they just stop working with the local PD now because
They kind of, they kind of, well, no, no, because they're working with the local PD because they help with the prison break. So,
hmm yeah, exactly. Dio should not have been helping with the prison break anyway. Um, we will let that one go because the rest of the episode is on point. Um, yeah, wonderfully done, beautifully acted by the actors, beautifully directed, apparently by Kevin Smith. And then finally, we have this continue con, continuing to grow this beautiful friendship between all of the ladies. Samantha is just, the whole episode is there in the background, being there for Lena, taking her home after the shooting, which I thought, because at first when I saw Lena in her house and she's wearing her like National City University sweatshirt and all this kind of stuff, it was goes to show you how a good friend I am. I'm like, why is Lena in her house? And then you realize like she brought her home after the shooting because she's shaken up and everything. And I was like, that's really nice of Sam. I didn't even think of that. I'm horrible. I'm a horrible friend. Apparently, if you get shot at, I won't even think to take you home and take care of you. I was like, oh, that's so nice of her. I never would have thought of that. Um, and you see them just continue to be friends. I like how they leave Lena just all drunk at her house. I was like, where's her daughter? You letting the drunk friend watch your child while you go be an investigative reporter. Apparently she has some minor hacking skills because like they immediately start looking up stuff, and Supergirl's like, how are we gonna get those? And she's like, already got them. I'm like, oh, so Sam's also like a minor hacker. Apparently she immediately broke into some case files. And then at the end we get our little stinger because they're continuing. This is something else that we've talked about with all of the shows on the CW, with the superhero shows. how sometimes they just drop things and you're like, is this gonna be important? And then they just drop it, and then it comes back 5 episodes later after we haven't thought about it for 5 episodes. I love how they're slowly developing this whole rain thing.
Yeah.
Because you have the daughter mention it at the beginning of the episode too.
Okay, so here's the thing. I got confused, right?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like this happened over 2 days, but according to this, either Sam didn't change her clothes, which is gross, or this all happened in the same day.
It did, I think. No, yeah, because
Okay.
Lena changed, but I think it was all the same day, and Sam didn't change.
So she gets the word. So from 8 a.m. to midnight is when this basically happened, because in the morning when she drops the baby off is when Luke gets sick and then she goes to the hospital. It was the same day. Because that threw me. I'm like, Sam, please tell me you ain't been wearing clothes to your multi-million-dollar job 2 days in a row, honey. I know you're a single mom, but there's
No.
$10 stores you can get something cute at.
Yeah, I think it was all the same day. At least from the press conference to,
Oh, you know
them
what?
taking down Edge.
You know what it was? The opening scene was the night before. That's
Mm-hmm.
what threw me off.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Okay.
But I really like how the daughter asked at the beginning. She was like, "Are you sure you're okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, no, I was just having a bad dream." She was like, you were on the bathroom floor freaking out. That's not a dream."
Fully awake.
She's like, "That's not how dreams work, Mom." Like, I know how to dream. That's not how that works. And then at the end, when she realizes that she was shot,
Mm-hmm.
and because she has the hole in her shirt, but she doesn't have any scarring or bullets.
And
So
it's in her pocket or something.
mm-hmm, yeah,
That's convenient. Well, no,
abs of steel.
Well, no, I realized it. Shit, I'll never have those abs. It bounced off her stomach and probably just landed in her pocket.
Yeah. Abs of steel. Abs of steel.
On me.
I just love how they're slowly building this. Each week with the freak out and the symbols, with the turning on of some sort of pod. Now this week with the bullet, and I like her slow realization, and I like that she is like, this is not what she wants. She like it. We had the whole episode with her daughter like, I just want you to have powers. I just think if you have powers, and she just thoroughly does not want powers, and not in the way they did with Caitlyn last season on The Flash, where she was sneaky and hiding it and out of control, but just in a this
Human, what the hell is happening to me?
Exactly. I'm human. What is happening to me? I'm not trying to. She doesn't want to be Supergirl. She wants to raise her kid and do her job.
Mm-hmm.
And now she has girlfriends, and she's like, yay, I have created a circle of girlfriends, people that I can rely on, and people that my daughter likes, and I just want to be normal.
Look, when Ruby said, "I like your new friends," my heart melted.
So
I'm like,
beautiful.
oh.
So beautiful. And then again, juxtaposing the alien human thing, you have Supergirl, who is struggling with this, and I need to embrace my alien side more. She's reconnected with this religion that she had on Krypton, all this kind of stuff. She's really connecting with her alien side. And then you have Samantha, who's finding out that there may be something different about her, and she's like, no, I just want to be human. I just want to be normal. It's such a good juxtaposition and such interesting parallels. And how did the storytelling and the writing get so deep and layered on this show? Who did it? Who did it? Because it's the same showrunners. I know that for a fact. I saw them last year at San Diego in 2016, and I saw them again this year in 2017. So it's the same people running the show. What was the shift? I just want to know. I feel like nobody is asking that question. what was the moment where you're like, no, we got to shift this whole thing? Because it's so much better. It's 100 times better. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I can't get over it. I'm like, how did you get Kevin Smith to direct this episode? That is, who decided to give Kevin this episode? That, to me, that's another, it's just a great choice.
Yeah.
Who decided to give Kevin this episode? Okay. Feedback. I'm done. I'm gonna rant. Like, you guys did not come here to hear me just be overwhelmed and flabbergasted the whole episode, the whole 30 minutes. Okay. Feedback. Ready?
I'm ready. Joseph. Hey, Joseph. Okay, so let me go on air and officially apologize to Joseph because the last 2 weeks I've been slacking. I've not been watching live. This past week I had to do some research for work and do some parenting. And so I've missed the live thread, and he was in there all alone. And then he asked me about it, and I was like, I'm sorry, I'll be there next week. So I'm so sorry. I will be with you this coming Monday. I will watch live and I will live comment and we will hang and do our thing. Anyway, hello, ladies. I think this is the first Supergirl episode I've ever seen where I care more about the B plot than the A plot. Oh, interesting. Oh, I know why. Okay. Watching the dissolution of Sanvers was heartbreaking. And that was the last shot of Floriana Lima leaving the apartment. Would have broken me if I weren't completely devoid of human emotion. You are not, sir. Quit it. You melt when it comes to that beautiful baby girl. So stop. Anyway, Morgan Edge, henceforth known as DC Talbot, is a really disgusting human being, and I look forward to his eventual downfall. He's like a smarmier version of Maxwell Lord, but at least the latter had some sort of redeeming qualities. DC Talbot, on the other hand, drank from the well of trash and went back for seconds. He's sinister. That is the best way I can describe him. He is sinister. Samantha and Kara bonding over being orphans was cute, and it was nice to see that this was mostly a Kara-centric episode with a little bit of Supergirl sprinkled in there at the end. The trio of Kara, Lena, and Samantha was really good this episode, and Katie McGrath sold her despair. Look, she had that red wine. I'm like, oh, what kind of wine is that? Anyway.
I'm self-loathing. It's not even despair. So self-loathing is something that is hard to act. Mm-hmm. That is deep.
And, you know what? And when I made the feedback post, I asked, is she just bad code? Anyone who watched Person of Interest knows that reference. It's where one of the originally an antagonist who became a protagonist talks about how, you know, machines are designed, they're perfect, whereas humans, we're just bad code. We're just designed to eventually fail and do wrong and be evil. So oh my gosh, she did such a good job with that. Mm-hmm. When she was drowning her sorrows, pesky, slippy accent notwithstanding. Jimmy got shot, but it endeared him to Lena, and they gonna get it in. If I can't have Karen and Lena, at least I can have Jimmy and Lena, right?
See, I'm here with you, Joseph. If we can't have what we want and what we love, we will take something lesser, something minor.
What did the Rolling Stones say? If you try sometime, you just might find you get what you need. You can't get what you want. I'm just saying. Anyway.
I think also, I didn't mention this earlier, but I think the good thing about, because we've talked about where is this thing with Lena going, because she's technically still one of our villains.
Is she though?
If what we saw last season is still in play, that Lena is really playing some sort of long con chess game, then yes. But if we are going to go that way and there is going to be a heel turn, imagine how much more profound that heel turn will be if she's dating Jimmy. Because Jimmy already went through this with Lex and with Clark. So Imagine if he lets his guard down with another Luthor to the point where they have a romantic relationship.
And that's kind of why I need it to not happen. Either it needs to not happen while they're together, or they need to have amicably broke up and then it happens later. But even then, he's going to be like, how did I not see this coming?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Let's not talk this evil into
I'm at the point where I'm like, let these actors do what they do. Because imagine the acting when that happens.
That's true. Sharad B., sorry for not commenting last week. It's okay. Look, we all got to adult sometimes. You're good.
No, keep reading the sentence.
like I said, he was adulting. He was handling his business. You leave Sherrod alone. I was caught up in Super Mario Odyssey and watched Supergirl.
That is not adulting. Okay.
That is his version of adulting. There are days where I choose not to watch anything and play not to the Old Republic now that it's backwards compatible. I'm making an adult decision. Thank you. You're fine, Sharabi. You adult. It's fine. Anyway, this was a great episode. Love seeing Kara being a reporter for change. Morgan Edge is a lowlife. I wanted to say something else, but being nice. It's okay. You know, we put the E on the podcast when we posted. You could. Why Jimmy had to get shot. That sucked to me, but if it gets closer to Lena, Jimmy, I'm here for it. Makes you wonder who will hook up first, Lena, Jimmy, or Diggle and Dinah. What do you think since you watched that show?
I want Diggle and Dinah to happen. I think Diggle and Dinah happening is going to be messy. So, I just.
And he's still married?
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
See, this I can't watch that show.
I mean, the way I feel is that I never really liked his wife that much in the first place, so I don't care.
Okay, this is gonna sound so messy. I liked him with his sister-in-law when they thought the brother was dead.
Same. I was a big fan. I was.
And then Judy Winslowed her and sent her upstairs, and she never came back.
Yeah, the feeling that I got, because I have actually mentioned this, like when I met Dave Ramsey, I've been like, whatever happened to Homegirl? The feeling that I got was that they did not have as strong as an off-screen connection, and so that was why Homegirl didn't stick around.
I'm going to keep reading because you're starting to make me mad. Sorry, not you, but that whole idea. I feel bad for Lena in this episode. I know if I were Lena, I looked for Lex's body armor and go after Morgan Edge my damn self. Well, she did like a dummy with no backup and didn't tell nobody where she was, and she got hemmed up.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this whole go off on my own thing. And I think that also goes back to my just tell people where you're going. Just tell at least one person where you're going. What if something had happened?
You could have told Kara, like, I think I have a lead on who that might be. Let me do some research. Meet me here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just that is one of my big frustration pet peeves is, you know, people just going off. Again, because I just watched last week, Stranger Things. Folks just going off into the woods and not telling anybody where they're going. When you know there's possible crazy demon, demogorgon darkness happening, just tell somebody where you're going. Just leave a note.
In Dustin's defense, he was trying to tell Lucas, but his Eric was like, shut up, get off the radio, and then turn the radio off. So to be fair,
I'm not talking about Dustin, but go on. We are not here to spoil Stranger Things for everybody.
It's been out 2 weeks. You late. No, I'm just kidding. Looks like Maggie and Alex are done. Kids is something you have to discuss before getting serious. Their breakup reminds me of seeing Emily and Maya break up in Pretty Little Liars. At least nobody died. Backing up to the discussion, someone in our Project Fandom group made a really good point. Sometimes people hear that and they think, oh, well, maybe they'll change their mind later on and then jump in anyway. So as much as it is something you have to discuss before getting serious, it's not necessarily something that some folks consider a deal breaker because people think that others will change. And then they get into the marriage and realize, no, I said what I said. I don't want kids. Mm-hmm. I'm good with the ones I got. Or I don't want kids. I'm good with being an auntie.
Yeah. So. Or did you, I saw something the other day, maybe I'm telling somebody's business, or somebody was talking about someone, or like shared a post, someone basically saying that they weren't interested in getting married and their partner was kind of like, it felt really strongly about the two of them being married. And then a year later, they're getting a divorce. And I'm like,
I saw that.
See? No, you cannot. Like that is the exact issue. People out here trying to be in these relationships and do things that they know are not for them, but for the other person, and then it's not going to work out. It's just not.
Honestly, the way I saw it was flipped. It was like, okay, the woman said she didn't want to get married.
Yeah, exactly.
She didn't want this big wedding. he did, and then 2 years later he turned around and left her.
Yeah, no, that was exactly it. Yeah. And so that's my thing is you, it's part of it is you got to know yourself, but another part of it is you have to understand that you cannot, those things that you feel strongly on that you cannot budge. Like for Maggie and Alex, like being a mom was not merely an idea for Alex. It was not just an idea. And I think what's also good for Maggie was that she was strong enough in herself to know, and not being a mom is not just how I feel right now. This is always how I'm going to feel.
Yeah.
That is just a level of emotional maturity that most people don't have, let alone folks on, when you're trying to write a relationship on television, and to be, for two people to be able to say this is not just I'm a Democrat, he's a Republican, or, which to me,
Oh shit,
by
that's
the
deal
way,
breaker.
is also a deal breaker.
Okay, let me back up. I'm gonna stop right there. Not a deal breaker. Not a deal breaker depending on very specific factors. I have a friend who is one half of a couple. She is a staunch Democrat. Her husband is a Republican, but of the fuck you Trump variety. So he's one of the few Republicans I fuck with. He is one of the few I fuck with. So there are rare exceptions.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm saying it's not just that. This is something I want. This is something I'm always going to want, and this is something I'm never going to want. That is a deal breaker, and being emotionally mature enough to be like, this is where we separate. It's not just rare for television; it's rare for life, because most people are just not at that level. I loved it. I loved it so well done. Anyway, go on.
Okay. Brandon, DJ Food and Drink. I just love that. I have loved that since I first heard you call yourself that on the Black Eye Tips when you called into them. Anyway, or wrote into them. Shannon and the doctor, how y'all? We good. How you? When I tell you the CW is in pocket, they're in the pocket. I can't wait for Lena. Oh.
I don't know where we're going here. You're just laughing.
I can't wait for Lena and Jimmy to, let me see if I can say this right. Fuck. There's a bunch of U's in the word. In the word fuck, so I don't know if I'm supposed to draw out the U's. Anyway, it has messy potential, and I'm here for it. I put it behind Diggle and Dinah and ahead of Blink John.
No, not ahead of Blink John. Right now, Blink John is my everything. I have not watched this week's episode of The Gifted yet because I have had never ending, between work and hula practice is just like all one long blur. And I have not caught up on anything that I have not absolutely had to watch. And it is killing me that I have not seen those two characters this week yet. It is killing me. The Gifted is like the one show that I watch. I can't say live because it's very rare that I watch anything live, but as close to live as possible. Oh, it's killing me. It's killing me. It's killing me. How are you going to put anybody ahead of Blink John? Anyway, I'm just angry now.
So we're on the record that Shannon feels a way about that.
The Blink John Dreamer love triangle is everything. So messy.
I have to sit down and watch it. I only watched the first episode, which was really good, but I'm behind on so much. I promised the kids Stranger Things, so we had to finish that. We got to finish season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., even though I've watched it. That's our device free watch. I'm going through Game of Thrones with the Firstborn, and we're only halfway through season 2, and he's loving Daenerys. He's like, I need to see what happens. So I'm like, I'm going to be so happy for him when he gets to season 7. He is going to freak out. Anyway, but I'm just behind because I'm trying to be a good parent, even though some people would judge me for letting my 16-year-old watch Game of Thrones, but I don't care. Anyway.
You're watching it with him. Anyway, but yeah, you do you. But the Blink John Dreamer love triangle is everything. It's so messy in the best possible way.
I'm going to catch up, probably over Thanksgiving.
So good. So good.
Sorry, I just completely knocked my microphone right off my desk. Hold on. It's going to take me a minute to get it back set up. Sorry, listeners. Y'all hearing all that? We're almost done because my world is falling apart. I'm continuing to love the fearsome foursome, now threesome of women on this show, although you can probably only trust 53%. Shit, after this election in Virginia, I don't even know about that number. Anyway, Edge is an evil man. How you gonna poison the babies? But I love his evil power is rich and white. Oh, I feel terrible that I thought Ruby did something to that little boy to make her mom do something super.
Oh, I did not even go there. That's so messed up.
You do not trust Ruby.
I did think
he has gone full boy yellow on Ruby.
I did think that it was gonna be a little bit of when she called her mom over. I was wondering if she was gonna try and do the whole like you can save him, mom. Like they if we were gonna get that, but I did not think she did something to the poor little boy. That's so mean. Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to get that yawn out. And last but not least, Amani. Hey, buddy. This is 3 great episodes in a row. As soon as Kara finally processed Mon-El being gone, it's like the show found its legs and started to fly. And I do appreciate them dealing with the consequences of that invasion this whole season. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. I love that they didn't just yada, yada, yada it away, because I feel like they yada, yada, yada awayed Allura's attempt.
Mm-hmm. They didn't really go deep into that. And it's funny because I think we talked about this at the beginning too. We said, oh, they're really going to delve into what is the world like post this alien invasion. And you were like, well, we have already had an alien invasion, but since they didn't talk about it.
Right. And the fact that connect the dots, Flint is lead poisoning. So I love that they did that tie-in wasn't just a throwaway line. It's like how you disperse lead throughout the atmosphere and not address the fact that it could have some consequences. It's a little insensitive potentially. So I love that they looped back around to that. I really do. Good job, writers. Good job, showrunners. Good job. They even took it to the real world talking about Flint and those lock her up chants. Oh, yes. I can't say enough about Maggie and fake Latina. They did a mature adult relationship and ended it the only way it could, with both parties having agency. They pulled off heartbreaking and intimate at the same time, and kudos to everyone involved. But we all did notice them seating Jimmy and Lena to fill that CW relationship slot, so our boy should finally get some time to shine again. Sorry, Shanna, him and Kara is never happening. I just really want to see the text Clark gets when he says he's dating a Luther. Clark gonna show up on the episode like, the hell? Like, I know I was nice to her. You ain't got to be that nice to her.
And I don't care what you say, because Jimmy Carr is going to happen when Lena eventually turns. And they have to comfort each other.
Look, she started off this season not in a good way with Jimmy, so... Anyway, I did love actual investigative care with just the right amount of Supergirl in the end. Edge out here poisoning babies over petty is some low and down dirty mess. And I can't wait for him to get his. And they're building that world killer hype train just perfectly. Watching Karen and Sam Bonda's sisters sharing their adoption stories is just going to be so much sweeter when they have to go at each other's throats. Thanks again for the great recaps. Kara is going to do everything humanly and kryptonianly. Oh, that's not a word. You know what I mean. Kryptonologically possible.
I think you were on the right track with Kryptonianly.
To say that, girl. We know it. That's who Kara is.
Yeah. I told you I'm excited for all of it. I'm excited. I love a good heel turn. So I'm excited to see what happens when all of these folks eventually go bad. Or to see how it's resolved. Because I've said this already. I don't want to lose Sam. And if she goes fully bad, like can't get her back bad, then that means we will lose her. And I don't want that to happen.
Well, and I'm wondering if it'll be a thing. You don't watch Doctor Who. For those listeners who do watch Doctor Who, this most recent season where the companion Bill winds up a Cyberman, where it's the thing where she's basically trapped inside her own body. But there's no coming back from it. So I'm wondering if it'll be a thing like that, which will be just as heartbreaking because she's still going to die, but it's less a heel turn and more just nature taking its course. I don't know. We'll see what they do with it. We'll see.
Okay. So that's all for the feedback. Next week, we are back with episode 6, and I am clearly stalling while I look up the episode title. Really, IMDb now? Now is when you're failing me? Okay.
I don't know what it is offhand. Give me a sec, though. I'll grab it.
No, I'm like right here in it, but IMDb is just being a bitch right now.
It's Midvale.
Thank you.
And I saw the preview for it because I watched it on my DVR. It's basically Kara's origin story.
Yes.
We get Erica Durant's.
That is why I wanted to look up the title, because I did like how it ended with Kara saying that they were going to go home. So we're going to get that whole backstory. Originally, when she said, "Oh, we're going home," because you know how I have this this idea that Kara's mom already has a new man, and it's a younger man. Remember, we talked about this.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was like, ooh, are they going to drop into her mom and like find her like having sex with her new boo?
Oh, let's not. Can we not? Let's not.
When I was watching it, that was my first thought. I was like, they're going to go home and not let their mom know that they're coming home, and she's going to be in the house with some dude. Because I'm messy. So yeah, Midvale, they are heading back home. That should be really interesting. We'll get to see Erica Durant's not just in a floaty dream sequence for the first time. That's also been something that has been so nice to watch. Having them like slowly seed her in and get us used to seeing a new person playing the mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to get the new baby.
Mm-hmm. The new child version of Kara, who I did notice in the opening, finally. So.
We've talked about her a couple of weeks ago, her being...
Yeah. Yeah, but I said I hadn't seen it. I hadn't noticed it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I finally paid it. Because I'm not going to lie, I'm usually doing something while that whole thing is going in the background of that opening. Because all of the CW shows have it, you know. My name is Oliver Queen. My name is Barry Allen. All of them have it. So half the time I'm just like, uh-huh. And for the longest time, you had Barry over here talking about, I'm the fastest man alive. I'm like...
Except for this person. I'm the fastest man alive, except for this person.
Like, even when Wally first got his powers, he was faster than Barry.
So shit, I was probably faster than Barry.
Exactly. Like,
oh, God.
My name is Barry Allen. I'm the fastest man alive, except for Shanna, who can outrun me for some reason. Yeah, so I've stopped paying attention to a lot of those intros.
Okay, so just as a side note, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but something just popped up in my feed. Be careful out there, folks. I went running with my son this morning. This is a long story. I'm sorry, it's a tangent, but I got to go on it because this is freaking me out seeing this. And we ran the loop of the mall. And he was ahead of me because, you know, he's younger and more fit and faster. So I kept having to make sure that he was facing traffic. So, because, you know, people are dicks and distracted and I don't want him to get hit. Something just came into my feed that these group of teens pushed a runner into the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. Just started running and pushed him into the harbor and kept going. I mean, and thank God someone saw him and was able to help him out. So he's okay, but just be careful out there because people are trash.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's like similar situation happened in London, right? Where this guy pushed a woman and she almost went into like a bus. Like he pushed her into traffic and she almost got hit by a bus.
Good shit.
Yeah, and you could see it on the the video on that he was running, and he's like jogging, running past all these people and kind of moving out of their way. I don't know why, for some reason, that woman specifically, he just, I don't know if he got tired of like weaving in and out of people and was just like, move out of my way. Uh, but he just pushes this woman after dodging like two other people and just pushes her into traffic. And if it hadn't been for the bus driver stopping, she
Oh
would have
my
got hit by a bus.
Jesus. Yeah, be careful out there. Folks are just being the epitome of trash.
Trash human beings. Are you gonna be styrofoam or are you gonna be compost? You got to figure out where you fall on that trash scale. Thank you,
Yeah.
Leslie, for that.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So next week we are all heading back to Midvale. We're gonna get Kara's origin story, continuing this theme, this deep, rich Kara getting in touch with her alien roots storyline. Alex getting over the breakup of Maggie with Maggie. So it should be pretty good. I At this point, I'm gonna stop. I promise you guys, next week I will stop being surprised at how good this show is. But yay for them for surprising me. Anything else?
No, that's it. We're good.
All right. So we will see you next week. Hopefully next week I'll also be much better rested. Fingers crossed. Thank you guys for listening. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.